I remember the first time I allowed myself to believe that maybe it was true that God would redeem the whole world. I was driving home from work. I was driving past this pond, a lake that I drove past every day. It was a beautiful day. Sun was shining. And I felt what I describe as a thrill of hope from that hymn, that my heart leaped, thinking that maybe this really is true. And as I've come to embrace it fully, it gives me great hope, because I can always say, no matter how bad things are, no matter how awful the world gets, no matter how awful my life gets or anybody else's life, it's not the end of the story. And the end of the story is 100% good and absolutely perfect, and better than if we had never fallen in the first place. And so it's very reassuring to me when I face trials in my life personally, or when I see what a mess the world is, to know that God is going to absolutely redeem everything that He's ever created and make it more perfect and more wonderful than even before the fall. It is a great source of comfort and hope to me, and something that I can share with others. I used to be reluctant to share my faith because I had this tension. I felt pressured to do it and guilty if I didn't, but I was afraid to do it because I was afraid that people would ask me questions that I did not have good answers to. Particularly, well, what about people who've never heard of Jesus? And I didn't have a good answer to that. Or why does a loving God allow people to suffer forever? And I didn't have a good answer for that either. And I felt guilty that I ought to be sharing the gospel, even if I was sitting next to somebody on a plane. I should be sharing the gospel with them because it might be the only opportunity they ever have. And what if the plane crashed and they died? Their blood would be on my hands. And so I felt that pressure to share the gospel and guilt if I didn't. But I was reluctant at the same time because I didn't have those good answers to good questions. Now, I desperately want to share with people the truly good news, the gospel that Jesus has accomplished our salvation, and He's offering it, and He will certainly accomplish it, and we cannot thwart that. We can resist Him for a long time. We can make ourselves and other people very miserable, and we make real choices with real consequences that can be very bad, but in the end we cannot resist God's will forever. And so inviting people to know this God as I've come to know Him in all His beauty and majesty and glory and loving kindness is something that I long to do, and I don't feel pressured to do it. It's something that I want to do, and I, in fact, can't keep quiet, to the point where some people get annoyed with me that I talk about it too much. But no, it's not a deterrent to evangelism at all when you long to tell people about this loving God who already loves them and does have a wonderful plan for their lives, and inviting them to live into that.